Candidates for State Senator, District 5. Lela Alston. Party, Democratic. Campaign funding, traditional. Website www.lelalstonaz.com. Biography. I was born and raised in Phoenix, attending Adams Grace Court Elementary, and graduated from Phoenix Union High School. I earned my bachelor's degree at University of Arizona and my master's from Arizona State University. I taught in the Phoenix Union High School District for 34 years and have served on the PUHSD Governing Board since 2008. I have served in the state legislature for 32 years. I live in Phoenix, where I raised 2 children and have 6 grandchildren. Statement. It would be my honor to continue to serve as the Arizona State Senator for LD5. I want to continue serving in the legislature because I want to secure our elections and protect voting rights, protect reproductive rights, and reform the out-of-control ESA vouchers that are draining funding from our public schools. During my time at the legislature, I've secured $150 million for the Housing Trust Fund to address homelessness and the housing crisis. I've increased funding for veteran services. I sponsored a bill that would require schools to use textbooks that don't discriminate based on sex, sexual orientation, disabilities, race, and religion. I've also increased the kinship foster care monthly stipend from $75 to $300. This year I put forth a bill to raise it to $600. Throughout my career as a lawmaker, I have championed our public schools and universities, advocated on behalf of our most vulnerable communities, and worked with my colleagues to find pragmatic solutions to the challenges confronting our state. If re-elected, you can count on me to continue making Arizona a place where everyone can thrive. Joshua Ortega. Party, Republican. Campaign funding, participating. Website, none submitted. Biography. I spent 8 years as a combat medic in the Army. Now I want to serve the people of Arizona and keep the Grand Canyon State free and prosperous as it has stood all 33 years of my life. Statement. I chose to serve my country in the Army because I owe my life to this country. In 1973, my father immigrated from Mexico, became a legal permanent resident of America, and hasn't looked back. He instilled in me a love for this country like no other. The debt I owe this country was partially paid back when I served for 8 years as a combat medic in the Army. Now I want to serve my new home state. My entire life, I've watched Arizona exemplify those American values, which we all hold dear, and I want to keep Arizona a free and prosperous state. I believe in the Constitution. I studied journalism because I believe in the right to speak freely against the government. I believe in the right to bear arms as a preventive measure against a tyrannical government. I believe in the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution are reserved to the states respectively. I believe in Arizona. Candidates for State Representative, District 5. Sarah Liguori. Party, Democratic. Campaign funding, traditional. Website, sarahligori.com. Biography. Sarah Liguori, an Arizona native and mom, has a diverse career spanning land development, commercial real estate, and financial planning. She has a long history of community involvement with organizations like the Urban Land Institute, Salvation Army Homeless Shelter, and the Arrowette Board. As a freshman legislator, she was able to effect change with bipartisan water conservation policy. Sarah is now serving her second session in the legislature and leads the housing and homelessness initiatives at a statewide nonprofit. Sarah's dedication and extensive experience position her as a key advocate for positive social and policy impact in Arizona. Statement. I have received the great privilege of representing my district and serving the people in our state as a legislator. In this role, my experience in business, finance, real estate, and community advocacy aligns with my desire to create a more equitable and sustainable world. I am passionately dedicated to creating policies that build bridges to success in people's lives instead of barriers. As a public school parent, I support increased school funding so that teachers can work at their highest ability and students are set up for academic success. I believe everyone should have access to health care, reproductive and abortion care, live free without discrimination, and be able to support themselves and their families on a livable wage. My experience in housing spans the state and focuses on the solutions we need in the short and long term to diminish the trauma so many are experiencing from housing insecurity. Every day I wake up ready to work tirelessly to secure a brighter future for both today and tomorrow. Advocating for the well-being of the next generation and the health of our environment. Charles Lucking. Party Democratic. Campaign funding traditional. Website www.charlesluckingaz.com. Biography. Charles Lucking, the current member of the Arizona House of Representatives for Legislative District 5. He is a husband, a father of 2 little kids, a returned Peace Corps volunteer, eviction defense attorney, and a leader in government and community. He is a 5th-generation Arizonan and the 3rd generation in his family to hold diplomas from Arizona's public schools. As a legislator, he is a champion for reproductive rights, voting rights, housing, and public education. Statement. My name is Charles Lucking, and it is my honor to serve as your state representative. I am running for re-election as an Arizonan who cares deeply about our state and the diverse and beautiful communities that make up Legislative District 5. I am a 5th-generation Arizonan, a husband and a father of 2, returned Peace Corps volunteer, an attorney, and a servant leader. As your neighbor in the legislature, I serve on the Military Affairs and Public Safety Committee and the House Commerce Committee. In committee and on the floor, I fight for our shared values. Together, we push to protect public education. We demand access to reproductive rights and stand with workers, veterans, and with our most vulnerable populations. We work tirelessly to improve the availability of affordable housing, preserve our natural resources, and safeguard our voting rights. With your support and your vote, we can continue to build a sustainable, healthy, and thriving Arizona. Aaron Márquez. Party Democratic. Campaign funding traditional. Website www.aaronmarquez.com. Biography. Aaron Márquez, a veteran of multiple political campaigns and the United States Army, grew up in Arizona, served his country through 2 deployments to Afghanistan, and has fought for progressive change in Arizona nationwide. In 2020, voters elected Aaron to the at-large seat of the Phoenix Union High School District Governing Board, where he has been fighting for progressive change to improve local public schools for our students and their families. In the State House, Aaron will fight to repeal universal vouchers for private schools, draining funding from our public school districts, and he will fight to protect abortion rights. Statement. In the State House, I will fight alongside Governor Hobbs to repeal universal vouchers for private schools, draining funding from our public school districts, And I will fight to protect abortion rights. In Democratic majority districts like District 5 in Central Phoenix, we need to increase voter turnout, especially Latino voter turnout. We must support Democratic candidates in swing districts like Paradise Valley, Chandler, and North Phoenix. We cannot bring real change to Arizona without giving Governor Hobbs a Democratic majority in the state legislature. As the Democratic nominee for District 5, I will continue campaigning after the July 30th Democratic primary to ensure we stop Donald Trump, defeat Kari Lake, and flip the state legislature. As an Army veteran, I swore an oath to defend our democracy. I know how much of a threat Donald Trump poses to the future of our democracy. We cannot debate education policy or abortion policy if we end up with an authoritarian in the White House. We need to fight for Joe Biden and Ruben Gallego in November. I will bring my experience from the school board, the Army, and as a dad to fight for a better Arizona in the state legislature. Dorri Thyden. Party, Democratic. Campaign funding, traditional. Website, dorriforaz.com. Biography. Dorri Thyden has more than 20 years of experience working in government, politics, and the legal industry. She is fourth generation to call Arizona home and grew up in Fountain Hills. Dorri received her undergraduate degree from Arizona State University in political science and her graduate degree from the University of Maryland in international security and economic policy. Dorri has a broad spectrum of experience in the legal and policy arenas, including working for the Democratic Party and on numerous political campaigns to elect Democrats. Her career focus has been communications and included roles related to policy, regulation, and law. Statement. Dorri Thyden is running for Arizona State House Representative for District 5 because she believes she can bridge the gap between government and communities to be an effective leader, advocate, and legislator for LD5. Dorri has a strong background in government, politics, and the legal industry, and has spent her career working in communications. She has experience working for her community and believes she can help Arizonans be heard and navigate the process to implement policies that benefit our families and neighborhoods. Dorri believes Arizonans deserve legislators that work for them. She will work to support policies that are devoted to pro-choice, women's rights, and human rights, and will ensure Arizona's laws are fair and equitable. Dorri is a strong advocate for increased public education funding, and as a community advocate, she is focused on public safety and community building. She believes our best policies start with a focus on our neighborhoods and families. She is dedicated to housing initiatives that provide more inventory and affordability in our communities, but that also work to address homelessness. From an economic standpoint, Dorri is committed to smart government and supporting policies that foster income equality and economic stability for working families.